and welcome to February 2025 Coffee and Card. We're on week 3 and I'm Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in South Manchester in Sale in the UK. So, classic wedding, and as promised this week it's not a wedding card, it's a birthday card, and I thought it'd be quite a good male birthday card because they can be a bit awkward to make male birthday cards. So let's get started. So in your kit you will have a piece of designer series paper. This is from the Country Flowers designer series paper, not your first thought for a bloke. Or is it country lace? It could be country lace. Anyway, I'll put it in the description. All the measurements will be down below. So it's a bit eyelet lace on one side, but it's got this gorgeous grey granite stripe on this side. And this is 13.9 by 9.5. Then a tent fold card base. So I've cut a piece of A4 in half. Lengthways, so that's 10.5 centimeters, so that's 29.7 centimeters, and then scored at 14.85 to give you your blank. And then I've cut these two out using the Something Fancy dies. And then you've got some. Now, I used originally Balmy Blue on this. However, I've actually now done it on. I then saw that this stamp does the windscreen, so what I actually did was take out the Balmy Blue, which was a fiddle, and then stamp it on white and put it in. So you have a piece of Balmy Blue which you want to use, you can, but if you don't need to. And then some Poppy Parade for the indicators, some grey granite for the car trimming, and a piece of Misty Moonlight for the car. And then another piece, this is a basic white piece, that is for the inside. So if you are going to stamp that on white, you're going to have to dig it out of your stash, which I'm going to do now. So I keep all my scraps in envelopes, and I know that's going to be big enough. Okay, so that's what happens when you design the change the card after you've sent the kits out. I'm sure you've all got a small piece of basic white. You can use that, and if not, just use the Balmy Blue. Right, so let's get started with our stamping. So again, I've actually stamped and pre-cut everything, so they're ready to go. So we'll do the stamping and then you go and do your die cutting, and then we'll put everything together. So again, I've still got this on the stamping platform, and I'm stamping on Misty Moonlight with Misty Moonlight. Now, if you don't have Misty Moonlight, Memento Black will work, Night of Navy will work, Versamark will work, although it won't show as much because it's just a watercolour stamp. Have a play. So again, like last week, I was using the Fresh Freeze. Your Misty Moonlight's an X in colour, so quite a lot of you I know do have it. And so mine's a bit dry, it does need a re-ink, and I know it is, which is why I'm stamping the stamp. Okay, so I'm just going to, and that's all I'm going to do on this, because I'm going to use the die cuts to decorate the car rather than stamping to decorate the car. I'll get my little cloth out. It's quite a big stamp. Let's get that evenly pressed down. There we go. And clean off the stamp. Okay. So that's the car ready for die cutting. So, and then I also need to stamp the banner and my sentiment and my windscreen, which is either do it on the blue or the white, it's up to you. So I'll show you both and you can decide. Let's do that first. So here's my windscreen, and again I'm on the Misty Moonlight, but I stamped off this time. So stamp in, stamp off, stamp on. Okay, so you get a subtle effect. And stamp off and stamp on. Whoops! There you go. Okay, so that's on the, in fact it still works quite nicely on the Misty Moon, on the Balmy Blue. When I did it originally I didn't stamp it at all, I just put the Balmy Blue on, it just looked a bit flat. So either use whichever one you want. Right. Now we're going to use Cheers, and Cheers is not a straight sentiment. Okay, and this is going on the grey. So what you need to do is curve your sentiment. Now it's really easy to curve. It's not so easy to make sure you've got the right curve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bend it a little bit and firmly stick it down to my block. Then I'm going to get the die. So this is what I'm going to cut out with. And see, that fits quite nicely. So if it didn't fit quite nicely, I'd re-bend again, okay? But I think that works quite well. In fact, probably better than that one does, actually. So making sure that's firmly down. So I am just going to stamp that at the bottom. You need to leave a long piece for these. That's all one piece. Okay, so put it in the middle because I'm going to surround it with the banner. So there we go, a nice curly Cheers. And then I do need to re-ink that stamp pad. Okay, I'm popping that in the middle. So I'm just standing up and looking over the top through my ring light to get that in place. So that looks really nice. I'm pleased with that. More pleased than I am with the other one. And then I'm just going to do the Hope Your Birthday is Wonderful. This is from Hooray for Surprises, which we have already done as a coffee and card a couple of months ago. So regulars have this in your stash. Otherwise, find yourself a nice birthday sentiment. Can't find my sentiment. Window. There we go. And I'm just going to centre that up. So that's all the stamping done. There we go. Okay. So you nip off and do your die cutting. The dies you're going to need are in here. So obviously you're going to need this for your bumper bar. Now this one here, whoops. So this gives you the handle for the boot. It also gives you the holders for the bottom, excuse me, bumpers, and the frame for the windows. But you're also going to use it again to cut these out. So it also cuts out the windows themselves. So you need to do that one twice. Excuse me. Sorry. I've had this cold a while and it just keeps whipping out on me. And then to cut out your red indicator or red brake lights, we're calling them on this card, you need that die there. Okay, on your Poppy Parade. But as I say, I've already done my die cutting, so you pop off and do yours. And just pause your video while you're doing that. And I will get mine out. Just in my little envelope here. Let's see how much I've got. Yes, I have done it all. Oof. Lots and lots of little pieces. Okay, so now to do this I'm using a fine tipped glue, which is here, and my angled tweezers. So the first thing I'm going to do is my windscreen. So I'm just going to pop some glue around the edges here. Oops, stuck to the fingernail. that just on there. So it's covering up the stamped lines. Too much glue. Fortunately it dries clear. There we go. And then I'm going to put the windows in. So I found the best way to do this when you're inlaying dies is to actually put the glue in the hole as such. Okay, so, and there is a way to these. So that one is going in here. And then this is the middle one. There, and then the edge goes there. Okay, there we are. And then I'm going to add the bumper bar. So this does tend to cling onto your die because it's got a narrow cut through the middle there. But it's got release holes so that you can pop your pokey tool through to help it come out. And this is going to go where the bumper is. There we go. And then I googled up a load of sort of old Beetle cars and things and found out that the supports tend to be sort of between the boot and the wheel. They're so clever at these things, at Stampin' Up. And they're so much fun to put together as well. I'm putting the lid back on my glue. With it being such a narrow aperture, it can glue up if you leave it. If you leave the glue to dry, you then have to end up taking it to pieces and shoving pins down the other side. Right, so in these little ones I'm just going to put glue on the car itself. So indicator, well, brake light, boot handle brake light. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one. Then the boot handle. Making sure it's the right way up. Okay. And then I just glued this across the back. And there we go. These two together and we just have to assemble our card. Glue on the paper. So I hope you're enjoying these series. I think a lot of people felt that this stamp set didn't really have a lot of different uses, and I think it really does. And I hope you'll agree with me there. And anything that will address the difficult men's card is always useful. it's upside down. I'm just putting it to position the car. It's quite a big piece, so don't be skimpy with your dimensionals, but you don't have to cover the whole thing. And they do work very well, and the card is quite substantial. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in the bottom corner, just about equidistance from the top and the side. Just got a bit of die cutting edge there. Right, and then I'll pop this on as well, and then we're done for week 3, so just one more week to go, and then next month we're on the Dinky Dinos, which are really, really cute and aren't here because I do in-person classes in Sale in South Manchester, and I was showing it to my class because I'm using them next month. So there you go. So 2 happy birthday cards, suitable for men or women. And take care, and I will see you all next week. Bye.